So this is the job we're going to do today. That post right there has to be built up through this roof. So what we've got to do is we've got to cut the square for the post out there, and then we're going to have to dry pan from that section right down to the post, around it and off here, mainly because these patios are so flat theoretically on a custom orb roof. On a house roof anyway, it has to be a minimum of 5 degrees. These aren't, so we can't afford not to dry pan it, and I'll show you why dry pan works beautifully afterwards. So the first thing we've got to do is cut that hole and the brickie will build it up, and then I'll show you how to dry pan that afterwards. Okay, so here you see I've got the measurements from below on the post or column, brick column, and we're just marking where it is on the sheets. I'm just using a down pipe there, but any straight edge will do you, so we know where we're going. I've undone all the screws, and now I'm just going to use the shears to cut it out. That'll get our column ready. Now I won't show you us building the column. I'll make sure with it built. I had the brickie come out afterwards, put the column in. So you can see here I start at the bottom. I bent those sheets up. You can see where you bend up there and chase the wall. Sometimes I chase the walls after I've done it, but this time I'm doing it before because I was paranoid about this, just purely because it is such a small fall, and there's some really nice woodwork under this pergola, so if it leaks, it's going to wreck the woodwork. So here you see I'm just cutting the 2 tags for either side, and as I do, you see how I'm snipping the edge there? Because I've got an aggressive edge and I made the flashings a bit thicker, that allows the tin to bend. You can see it bending, and as I cut, it lets the wastage go away. It just makes it easier to cut. It's just a little trick you can do. It makes life a bit easier. So I'm just going to bend those edges, and I'm just going to put that in place, and then you'll find I'll just tack it in place. So I'll just leave you to see that. These are just the screw holes underneath from where we cut it originally. On this one I get pretty paranoid. Any holes underneath, you'll see I will actually later on seal a few of the screws from underneath, but I just can't afford anything under there that can leak, because what will actually be attached to that pillar later on, we're going to put a steel deck above it, so this has to really last. So we move to the side. I'm only going to show you the one side today. We do the exact same on the other side, so if you want to see what we do on the other side, just watch this one twice. We're just marking where the tags go, and I'm holding that really tight onto the sheets. I want that as low as possible, so we don't want any raise on that. And now we're just going to grind it. Now I'll grind this one with the flashing on, and that's just purely so I get it dead straight. So there you see how that bends now, since I've cut the top laps. That's all it's for. It allows the Otherwise that would stay straight. It'd be very, very difficult to cut. Now the little bend down there with the duckbills, they're called duckbill pliers. The reason I bend it down there is I don't want any capillary action happening. So any water that gets under there I want to drop off and onto that sheet. Because now I'm just cutting the angles so that when it gets put back on, it's nice and neat. You tag it at the back and let it run past at the front. That's how we do it. You will see me constantly blowing the roof off. If you don't do that, what happens is when you silicone, all the dust gets caught in the silicone. You'll even see at the end there's a little bit of red dust in the silicone, but that's not a big problem because that'll be under the decking. Nobody will see it. I have a really old tip here, so it doesn't stay in magnetically. Okay, I'm just cleaning up the front now because I wasn't happy with the way it was sitting. I wanted it to sit a bit deeper, and you'll see I even pull it off and go a bit deeper with that cut because I want it to really, really sit flat against that brickwork and get nice and deep. So we move to the back. I'm just taking the, you'll see I knocked the flashing down so it conformed with the sheets. So I've got to flatten that if I'm going to do what's called a dry pan, because I've got to seal it to a flat piece of tin. So all I've done is I've marked each side where the dry pan goes, and I'm just taking that lip off. I've undone the screws and you'll see it go under in a second. Now this is the second time I put it in. The first time I put it in without putting it under the flashing, and I did that so I could mark where I had to chase. So this wall, it has been chased prior to me putting in this flashing, and you'll see the lip will just slot in. You see it there. And I'm just kicking it in place so that it's exactly where I want it, and I pre-cut it at the back and had it all prepped. So you can see on the edges I've taken it slightly past the end of that flashing, and now I'm just shortening it. I don't need those flashings that long. They're only that long because I always allow a bit extra. Now it's down, we clean it off, we make sure we get that edge back in the groove. And now we're sealing. Now we're sealing under that flashing. That's where the water can't go back and under. So effectively we're turning it into a complete flashing from the gutter right down to the back of that pillar. As you can see, we've completely sealed that now, and that is pretty much monolithic. And now we're doing under all the joins around the pillar now. You can see I put silicone under everything, then go over the top with stitching screws, is what they're called, and then I'll seal on top as well. A lot of the sealing actually comes from just the silicone oozing out, and when it does, you can use that. That's why you always see me mark it with a pencil, so that I know exactly where I've got to put the silicone, so I get a little bit of an ooze out as well out of it. Right, now we're just doing the front joints. We're making sure that they're fully sealed. You can see I hit it with the pencil there. Allows me to track exactly where I want to put that line. And the other stuff is just to hold it together and add waterproof protection. Now if you see those three that I've just put in, the three stitching screws, I actually only put those through the flashings. I didn't put them into the sheets. And the reason for that is because if they ever did leak, they would leak down onto the sheet and run away. But if I actually screw it through the sheet and there's a leak, it'll go through the sheet. That's not on everyone, that's mainly on this one. I've done it like that. That's just the second corner. We'll go through and make sure that that's 100% sealed. Really get it in behind there. So you'll see that bottom corner one there was into the sheet, and you'll see afterwards as I come down and I seal it, I do actually lift that, because where I've gone into the sheet, I also seal underneath it to give it almost like a double gasket. It's got a gasket on top. It's got the silicone on top and a little gasket underneath. That's just to make sure no water gets blown under there by the wind and leaks. So now we're just putting in the plugs. Had to put in a few plugs in this because they're quite hollow bricks. And once the plugs are in, we'll finish it off, we'll blow it off and seal the brickwork. Now that pillar will get plastered, so the plaster will come over the top. I'm just tapping down the edges here so that when the water runs off, it goes into the bottom part of the laps. or the corrugations, and the idea there is that it doesn't go under the flat bit. Alright, so there you go, he's all done. It's flushed around the front, and then we put the dry pan which goes up and under, and the reason it's a dry pan is we don't want that water to get to that sheet, so we're keeping it dry, that entire sheet dry. That's the way we're doing it. So it's another way to do it. If it's really low in the way of pitch, that's a better way to do it than trying to put a flushing in there, because it won't be deep enough. You'll just end up with it overflowing and going in the roof. So I'll show you it working. If you did like this, please subscribe, and I will see you on the next video.